It's October, which is my favorite month of the year, because in October we make pumpkin spiced everything around here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my very favorite pumpkin spice recipe, which is pumpkin spice cupcakes with salted maple frosting. But the good news is that despite the long name, these cupcakes are super easy to make and they are so worth it. So delicious, just amazing. If you're a fan of pumpkin spiced everything just like me, then you have to try these. We start by preheating our oven to 350 degrees. After you've preheated your oven, you want to line your cupcake pan. I'm using green liners today. I think it's kind of fun with the orange cupcake and the white frosting. Most of the time this recipe makes 12 cupcakes. Every once in a while, for whatever reason, sometimes it makes 13. I don't get it. It's kind of like that sock in the laundry mystery. Same thing here. Sometimes this recipe makes 13 cupcakes. All right, you can be starting with some sugar, baking soda, a gluten-free all-purpose flour. I have one that I really love that you will find on my website, audreydunham.com. Next we add our spices. First we have ground cloves. Next we add our cinnamon. And next we have pumpkin pie spice. Next we're gonna add our salt. Once all those dry ingredients are in, we give it a nice stir, get all those spices incorporated, and then once that's all blended together, we add our wet ingredients right into that same bowl. All right, next we have our canned pumpkin going in. We have a non-dairy milk. I'm using almond milk today. Sometimes I use cashew milk. Oat milk will work too. I have a little bit of non-GMO canola oil. I do non-GMO whenever I can. Maple syrup. Adds a nice richness to the flavor. After our maple syrup, we do 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is a very typical, very important ingredient in vegan baking. And lastly, vanilla extract. Give it another stir. All gonna come together really beautifully here. It's gonna be a nice pumpkin-y color. It's gonna look just like pumpkin pie filling here in a second. I just love the fall. It's my absolute favorite time of the year. It's when Jeff and I got married. It's when my twins were born. I love pumpkin everything. I love the weather. What's not to love about the fall, really? Halloween. It's Matt's birthday and Emily's birthday. All these wonderful things happening in October. Looking really gorgeous. All the clumps are gone. Most of them anyway, a few in there just from the pumpkin itself, but it's looking pretty good. Now, if you really want to get specific on how much batter goes into each one, you can use a 1/4 cup to fill each one, but I kind of eyeball it at this point. I've made a lot of cupcakes in my day. You want to fill it about 2/3 full. You really don't want to fill them all the way up. Okay, I don't think we're going to be making a 13th one today. It's going to be about 12 exactly. That'll do it. I think we have evenly distributed batter. All right, we're gonna bake these for about 20 to 24 minutes in our preheated oven. Next, we're gonna make our salted maple frosting. We start with some non-hydrogenated vegetable shortening, like I have right here. And then you either use a stand mixer or a hand mixer. I'm gonna be using my very first mixer that I got when I got my very first apartment when I was 18 years old. I love this mixer. I'm never gonna throw it away. Just gonna mix our shortening for about 30 seconds, make it nice and fluffy before we add anything else. All right, that's looking nice and fluffy. Now it is a maple frosting, so of course you wanna use some maple syrup. I have 3 tablespoons going in. But that maple syrup isn't quite enough to give it a really strong maple flavor, so you also wanna use some maple flavoring or maple extract. Also doing some vanilla extract to help round out the flavors. 3/4 teaspoon. And since I'm such a fan of salty sweet combos, I do a rounded ½ teaspoon of salt, and then half of the powdered sugar that we need. Start mixing on low. And turn it up to high. And now the rest of our powdered sugar. Start on low so that powdered sugar doesn't go flying. Scrape down the sides, get all of that powdered sugar off the side of the bowl. All right, that looks amazing. Now you can go the old-fashioned route and just frost these using a butter knife, but if you want to go a little fancier, you can use a piping bag, just like this. You just want to snip off the edge about that much or so. Put your piping tip of choice in. Just take your frosting and go right down the center. And we are ready to frost our cupcakes. Timer's going off, that means that they are ready to come out of the oven. Let's check to see if they're done. Now, test to make sure they're done, we want to do our toothpick test. Right down the center, you want it to come out nice and clean, no batter whatsoever. I usually test all 12 just to make sure that they're done. All right, so you want these to be completely cool before you frost them. I actually happened to make 4 earlier today that are completely cool. So now we take our frosting, try and get right over the top. Just like that. I always feel that the secret to frosting cupcakes and making them look perfect is confidence and a nice smooth hand and trying not to overthink it. And one last final touch that I like to do is a little dusting of ground cinnamon right across the top. Kind of lets people know that they're in for something cinnamony, you know? And that's it. These cupcakes are ready to eat. The perfect little pumpkin spice treat just for me. I'll be dainty about it. I'll use a fork. Amazing. So good. That pumpkin really pops. The clove and the pumpkin pie spice cinnamon. And that frosting is so creamy. Just the right amount of salt and sweetness. So delicious. And the good news is, if you have somebody who doesn't eat eggs or dairy or gluten, they can have one of these cupcakes too. It's perfect for everybody. This has to be one of my top 3 favorite recipes on audreydunham.com. If you decide to give it a try, please let me know what you think. I would love to know. To find more videos with recipes and tips and tricks in the kitchen, please click right here. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe by clicking right here. And to get those instant notifications anytime that I post a new recipe, be sure to click that bell. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time.